Okay.
Well, hey there, it's Elke,
And Jen, hi.
and we are here again today on Thursday for another Zazzle Tech training. These are going to become the Thursday staple at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And each week we're going to have a theme and talk about something very techy regarding a certain subject. So this week is all about how Zazzle is not like other PODs. And that also translates into the actual production and making of the products. So what we're going to talk about is a little bit of the idea that you have to understand when you are coming from other PODs and thinking that you can add Zazzle to your roster by just adding certain designs and uploading them and just assuming that it'll work the same way as it does on Redbubble or Society6 or anything else like Amazon Merch. So, are you? Is everyone ready? And hello, and say hello in the chat. Make sure that you're active and live. We are going to answer questions, but we are going to talk specifically first about the subject so we can introduce it and explain what we mean by that it's Zazzle's not the same as other PODs when it comes to uploading and posting your products for sale. So a couple of things that you need to know if you're coming from any of these other platforms like Amazon Merch, and especially if you're on Merch Informer, for example, that is a platform where you can put your designs up once and then you can put them, like say, add it to XYZ in terms of platforms. And now Zazzle is one of the platforms that you can add as part of your list of PODs that you can just take your products, or sorry, your designs and add them to all the products. And so this is a really great thing for Zazzle as to have that connection also with Merch Informer. However, then you are missing out on certain things that are specific to Zazzle, which are really the key reasons that most people are very successful on Zazzle, and that's the customization aspect of the Zazzle platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also another thing that's just happened recently is that Adobe and Zazzle have coordinated, and there is now the ability to use, be right on Photoshop and then go take your link or your app that you have for Zazzle and be designing in Photoshop, but literally be designing as if you were designing on the Zazzle design tool. And so therefore there is that aspect as well, so that Adobe and Zazzle are connected, and it's really fun, but it can also lead to issues where you think, okay, well, maybe I can just put my products on multiple, or sorry, I keep saying products, my designs on multiple products all at once. And then the third thing that we want to talk about is Quick Create. And Zazzle does have something called Quick Create. It's not something we ever really talk about because it's not as effective. In the past, it was something that we designers, and I'm talking years ago, were using to make it easier and faster for us to upload our designs onto multiple products.
Mm-hmm.
This was great until SEO became much more important. And therefore, now when you're uploading and using Quick Create, there's a really important SEO factor, which means your products would all have the same title and tags, and therefore it's not going to be as effective to have those products searched. Yeah. But the second thing is that the item that you're uploading, like your graphic, can only be placed on the product based on the templates that Zazzle has. And sometimes the products and or the template area where your product design is being uploaded to is really not effective for that product. So you're either going to be creating products that are never going to sell because they're not really the most useful and or thoughtful and intentional products to put your designs on based on the actual design, or they just don't look right in terms of how the image that you've uploaded is placed on the design, the item, the product, and therefore when it's published, it's not going to be the most effective for you to, like, your product again will not look very interesting to the customer. Sorry, my computer keeps making noise. All right, so Having considered all of those things, go back to the beginning here and understand that when you're coming from other print-on-demand companies like PODs, where they're asking you to take one image and then you upload it up to multiple products, and then they're just basically all the same. You don't really have a choice. You just put it up. And you have one set of titles and tag, like one title, one set of tags, and one description. When you go to Zazzle, Zazzle's trying to get away from that because they noticed that the SEO, or the searchability of each of the items that's posted, is better if you create different titles and different tags. Now, it doesn't have to be like incredibly different, just slightly different. And then in our Profit by Design Academy, we go into deep detail as to how you can manage those titles and tags to be different, but not to be the same in terms of having the bots find that you're not spamming, but that this is the same thing, and so it's not as interesting to that bot as if you were to manage the titles and tags more effectively. But for this presentation and for this chat here, we want you to really understand that if you're going to do that, you should go in afterwards and edit those products so they have different characteristics in terms of the SEO. And the reason is because each product that is posted on the Zazzle marketplace actually has their own URL. So if you consider it as a web page, each product is a web page, then you start to understand the significance of why each product needs to be posted uniquely with its own title and tags. So that's one aspect. Then the other aspect is, again, that same thing that was happening with Quick Create. The POD way of putting designs up on products is you take one design, one graphic that you've made, and then you just add it. But you're missing out if that's all you do on the Zazzle marketplace. It's going to definitely help and you're going to get sales, but especially if you've been selling on other platforms. However, on the Zazzle marketplace, you're probably missing out about like 52% more of the opportunities to sell additional products with additional variations of your designs by not choosing to use the customization tool in some way or another, by adding text or by adding photo. Mm-hmm. So do you have any more to add to that?
No, I think you've done a really great job at summarizing it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if we have any questions. Let us know if you
have any questions. No,
we've
just got lots of people saying hi and where they're from, which is really awesome.
Okay.
But you did a really great job of telling everybody about the mistakes and the ways that PODs and Zazzle work differently.
Yeah, because Zazzle's still a POD. Mm-hmm. However, Zazzle is so different than other PODs, where it has the customization tool, and customers come specifically to Zazzle to do that customization. Yes, they will still come for patterns or just uploading an image that's a cute design, but there are so many more opportunities on Zazzle to make sales. Mm-hmm. And we have actually a couple of one-on-one clients that we're working with right now that are coming from these other platforms, and they're actually just getting so excited now that there's so many more possibilities mm-hmm. that they didn't realize were opportunities for them to additionally, like to 3 times, 4 times, 10 times increase their income. So if you're in that situation and you've come from one of these other platforms, make sure that you're completely aware of that and figure out what else you can use your actual image that you're uploading for. Could it be a background? Yeah. Could it be an accessory to a design that you've already developed that could or that you can develop in terms of adding customization, like a name or a monogram, or go even further and add text for business and calendars and home decor, and also keepsakes and all the occasions that are there for that the customers come to Zazzle to purchase items for.
Yeah, and I think also there's a bit of a learning curve when you're coming from other platforms like POD platforms, or yes. even if you're
with the titles and tags.
Well, with titles and tags, but then also understanding the possibilities that you just mentioned for customization. If you are part of other PODs or you are licensing your artwork to other providers or other PODs or whatever contract you have with another merchandiser, then you're in a certain headspace where that is the only thing that you understand, and that's within your realm, which is really awesome. But when you come onto Zazzle, you have so many more possibilities to use your artwork in specific ways that are now customizable that you wouldn't have ever had the chance to even sort of like fathom or understand. And so that's why in the Profit by Design Academy, we're really we show you all of the different ways that you can create a product with customization and with the proper templates. So your mind is now open to so many more possibilities and actually has a better understanding of how you can use your artwork in ways that you never even really thought of using them. Because a lot of us are very we are focused on one ultimate end goal, or we have a certain path that we think that that's the only way that we need to follow because that's what we've learned and that's where we've been. But we want to help you understand that there are so many more possibilities and actually so many more of it, like opportunities for you to sell your artwork, and customers will actually buy it because it's presented in a specific way versus the way that you might actually only think that it should be sold or can be sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why Zazzle is such a great platform, and that's why we love it so much, because it has these opportunities to really go above and beyond what other print-on-demand companies offer as a way for you to display and offer the artwork and graphics that you have available to sell. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week for another Tech Thursday, Zazzle Tech Training Thursdays.
Yeah, bye.